Congratulations, Archangel Michael says, your miracle has arrived. Your angel is not permitting you to skip this message at any cost. Open it now before it's too late. Open this now, do not look away, do not scroll past, do not tell yourself you will return later, because this message is not random and it is not gentle, and it is not patient in the way you might want it to be, and if you ignore it you may feel the cost of what you choose to delay, because this is not just words on a screen, this is a direct call, a divine alert. And it carries a weight that will not fade just because you try to avoid it. I speak with urgency because heaven has stepped in, a miracle has already arrived in your life, and whether you receive it or lose it will depend on what you do now, in this moment, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when you are less tired, but right now. Because a door has opened and time is moving in a way you do not see, and you must hear me before it closes again. You are not reading this by mistake. There is a pull in your spirit that made you open this even if your mind thinks it was random. There is a reason you did not close this message after the first line. And there is a reason your heart recognizes something you cannot explain. I am Archangel Michael, and I speak to you with authority, with truth, and with compassion, because I know what you have endured, I know the weight you have carried, and I know how many times you thought you would not rise again. Heaven has intervened in your life because you have suffered enough, and because the time has come for what was held back to finally reach you. But I must tell you something that is not soft, this message cannot be skipped, because there are consequences when someone chosen for a miracle walks away from it. Delay equals loss, fear equals delay, and you have delayed long enough. You have been prayed for, protected, and guided even in the moments you assumed you were abandoned. There were nights when you were certain you were forgotten, and there were days where you felt invisible, unseen, unheard, and unsupported. But every cry you released, we heard. Every tear that fell, we counted. Every silent disappointment, every heartbreak, every betrayal, every collapse of trust, every moment you were forced to rebuild what you never asked to lose, we were present. I have watched you. I have defended you. I have stood at the gates of battles you did not even know you were fighting. There were forces that tried to destroy you, not just hurt you, not just slow you, but destroy you, and you survived not because you were lucky, but because we would not let you fall. You think you have survived because you are strong, and yes, you are strong, but not strong in the way people define strength. You are strong because you kept feeling even when it hurt. You are strong because you kept loving even after betrayal. You are strong because you kept hoping even when despair was easier. Your strength was not loud, it was quiet and lonely and heavy, and heaven saw it. There were times when you begged for answers and nothing came. There were times when you prayed for help and received silence. You assumed silence meant rejection, but silence was preparation, and what was yours was being shaped, built, and protected until you were ready to receive it. The miracle that belongs to you has already manifested. It is not coming, it is here, and the only thing left is for you to receive it consciously. Fate does not hand gifts to people who sleep through their calling. Destiny does not chase people forever. Blessings do not sit unlocked forever. You are being called because your life has entered a divine window where old patterns must break and new reality must begin, and if you do not step into alignment, you risk repeating pain you were never meant to repeat again. For a long time, you assumed your life was behind schedule. You compared yourself to others and wondered why things took so long for you. You blamed yourself for not having more, doing more, becoming more. You thought you wasted years. You thought you missed your chance. You thought you failed your purpose. You thought you were forgotten by God. None of that is true. You were being shaped for a role that required depth, compassion, and wisdom. You needed to see life from the inside out. You needed to fall so you could learn how to rise. You needed to lose what was not yours so you would recognize what truly is. There is a power inside you that has been waiting to wake up, but fear kept it caged, pain kept it silent, and exhaustion kept it numb. You are not weak. You are tired. Tired from battles you did not ask for, lessons you did not want to learn, losses you did not deserve to experience. You did not break because you were fragile. You broke because you outgrew the version of yourself you were forced to be. Breaking was not the end. Breaking was the birth. There have been forces that worked against you, some human, some energetic, some internal, some external. People who envied you without reason. People who sensed your light even when you could not feel it. People who took from you because they saw strength in you that you never saw in yourself. But the greatest enemy you faced was not outside you. It was the voice that told you you were not enough. The fear that convinced you to settle. The belief that made you shrink. The memory that made you doubt. The trauma that made you numb. The pain that made you silent. Do not blame yourself for surviving the only way you knew how. But I tell you with clarity and truth, the time for survival is over. You did not come here to remain hidden, broken, anxious, lonely, or afraid. You did not come here to beg for crumbs from people who never valued you. You did not come here to repeat pain that belongs to generations before you. You came here to break patterns, lift timelines, and change the direction of your life and the lives that come after you. You are not ordinary. You are called. And this calling has reached its activation point. I speak to you directly now, your miracle has arrived. Not as a dream or a wish, but as a manifested reality waiting to enter your physical life. It is already aligned. It is already prepared. It is already marked with your name. But you must awaken to it. You must choose it. You must receive it consciously. Heaven cannot force a gift into closed hands. We cannot push destiny onto someone who refuses to claim it. You have waited long for this moment, but this moment is also waiting for you. You must not walk away now. I need you to understand something important. The energy around your life has shifted. A cycle has ended. A door has opened. A season has changed. You may feel it as restlessness, as hope, as fear, as excitement, as pressure, as something strange moving inside you. That is not anxiety. That is awakening. That is the soul recognizing what the mind has not yet caught up to. You feel something coming because something has come. But if you resist it, delay it, or sabotage it with fear, you will not only slow your blessing, you may lose opportunities that will not return. I do not say this to threaten you. I say this because I have watched you suffer long enough, and I will not stand silent while you risk repeating what you have already overcome. You are stepping into a moment where choices matter more than ever. Alignment matters more than ever. Awareness matters more than ever. You are not alone in this shift. You are surrounded, protected, guided, and supported. There are angels around you now, not as symbols, but as active presence. Your life is watched, your path is guarded, your future is shielded. You are safe. You are loved. You are chosen. But you must step forward. You must rise. You must receive. I speak with authority because this is urgent, and I speak with compassion because I know how tired you are. I speak with warning because I do not want you to lose what you have cried for. I speak with love because heaven has waited to give you what is yours. Comment, God is my safe refuge, if you run to Him when life is heavy. There is something I need to tell you now, and you must listen with an open heart, because what I am about to reveal explains why you went through so much pain, why things were delayed, and why your miracle did not arrive earlier even though you begged for it, prayed for it, and reached a point where you felt like giving up. You may think your life has been falling apart because you were unlucky, or because you made the wrong choices, or because you were not enough, but that is not the truth. You were caught in something bigger than you could see, something spiritual, something hidden, and much of your suffering was not because you failed, but because something was fighting hard to keep you from becoming who you were meant to be. Your breakthrough did not come late because you were weak. It came late because you were chosen, and chosen souls are often attacked the hardest. There are things that happened to you that made no sense. Relationships that broke without warning. Opportunities that vanished right when success seemed close. Money that slipped away faster than you earned it. Friendships that turned to betrayal. Moments where everything collapsed at the same time. You told yourself you were cursed, unlucky, misunderstood, forgotten. You assumed all of this chaos meant there was something wrong with you, but the truth is, there were forces that saw your potential before you ever recognized it, and they fought to stop you before you could reach it. You think your pain happened because you were weak, but actually, it happened because you were powerful even when you didn't know it. I need you to understand this clearly. There was a battle around your life. Not a small one, not a silent one, but a spiritual war that lasted for years. Not every heartbreak, block, or delay was random. Not every failure was caused by your actions. Not every loss was your fault. There were moments where you were targeted, not because you deserved pain, but because you were chosen to rise higher than those around you. You were tested, pushed, shaken, and broken because your destiny is bigger than the average person's reality. Some people walk through life untouched because they have no mission that threatens darkness. But you, from the very beginning, were marked with purpose, and purpose always calls attention. There were forces that wanted you discouraged, disconnected, empty, bitter, and hopeless, because broken hearts are easier to control than awakened ones. You were easier to silence when you believed you had no worth. You were easier to stop when you believed you had no future. You were easier to defeat when you believed you had no strength. And so life hit you where it hurt the most. It hit you in your heart, in your finances, in your confidence, in your relationships, in your identity. Life did not attack you in the places you were strong. It attacked you in the places you were still growing, because those were the doors that would lead you to purpose. You may think your pain killed your spirit, but in truth, it awakened something in you that comfort never could. Struggle made you compassionate. Loss made you wise. Betrayal made you brave. Loneliness made you introspective. Waiting made you patient. Darkness made you aware. You did not come out of this as the same person who went into it. Something inside you changed. Something inside you grew. Something inside you learned to see past what others see. You may feel wounded, tired, and raw, but you are also deeper, stronger, and more awake than you have ever been. There were times when you asked, "Why me? Why does this keep happening to me?" And heaven heard you. Heaven felt your anger, your confusion, your pain. There were times when you thought you were being punished, but punishment was never the goal. Growth was. Alignment was. Awakening was. And I know this sounds unfair, because you did not ask for lessons, you asked for peace. You did not ask for growth, you asked for relief. You did not ask to become stronger, you asked to be loved, protected, supported, safe. But understand this, your journey was not designed to destroy you. It was designed to prepare you, because what belongs to you requires a version of you that knows how to hold it, how to protect it, how to value it, and how to stand strong in it. There were people who came into your life not as blessings but as distractions, lessons, or shadows. Some of them loved you but could not stay. Some of them used you because they sensed you would become more than them. Some of them walked away because your growth threatened their comfort. Some of them broke you because they could not break themselves. You were not foolish for trusting, loving, or giving. Your heart was not a flaw. Your generosity was not weakness. Your empathy was not a mistake. You simply gave parts of yourself to people who were not capable of holding them. And yet, even in those moments, you survived. Even when you felt lost, you continued. Even when you felt invisible, you kept loving. Even when you were abandoned, you kept holding on to hope. You may think you have failed many times, but you did not fail. You endured. You survived storms that others would not have survived. You made it through nights that broke stronger people. You walked through seasons where everything inside you screamed to give up. You reached points where you questioned your existence, your purpose, your identity. But you kept going. You kept standing. You kept choosing life even when life did not choose you. That persistence is why heaven stepped in. That persistence is why your miracle has arrived. But I must tell you something hard. Your miracle did not arrive earlier because you were not ready to hold it. You were still surrounded by the wrong people, still tied to old pain, still trapped in cycles created by trauma, still giving your energy to places that drained you. If your blessing had entered your life too early, it would have been stolen, wasted, ruined, or destroyed. Not because you lacked value, but because you lacked protection, boundaries, clarity, and awareness. Some delays were not rejection. They were protection. Some losses were not failures. They were redirection. Some endings were not punishments. They were exits created by heaven, because you would have stayed loyal to people who would never choose you. You would have clung to things that would have killed your spirit. You would have trusted those who would have betrayed you when your blessing arrived. You would have kept open doors for people who prayed for your downfall. You do not see what others say about you, think about you, or wish for you, but I do, and I have intervened many times to stop things you did not even know were coming. You think the worst battles in your life happened outside, but the truth is, many of them happened in silence, in the unseen, in the spirit, while you slept, while you cried, while you wondered why everything felt heavy. You did not see the times I blocked accidents meant for you. You did not see the times I closed doors that would have destroyed you. You did not see the times I removed people who smiled to your face and cursed you behind your back. You did not see the times something tried to break your mind, your heart, your spirit, and I stood in front of it. You do not know how many times you were saved from death, despair, collapse, or destruction. You call it coincidence. You call it luck. You call it survival. But it was divine intervention. You think you are alone because you cannot see all that happens around you, but I watched you every second you did not know you were watched. I defended you every time you thought nobody cared. I carried you every time you said you could not do this anymore. I protected you every time your heart could not take another loss. And now, after all of this, heaven has said, enough. Enough fear. Enough pain. Enough delay. Enough sabotage. Enough waiting. Enough fighting alone. Your miracle was not late. It was timed. It needed to arrive when you were healed enough to receive it, strong enough to protect it, and wise enough to grow with it. You are now stepping into a moment where your past no longer controls your future. Where your suffering no longer shapes your identity. Where your trauma no longer decides your worth. Where your fear no longer blocks your blessings. But hear me carefully, you must not return to what broke you. You must not chase those who walked away. You must not open doors to those who drained you. You must not convince yourself that you do not deserve what is coming. There will be thoughts that try to pull you back. There will be people who try to guilt you. There will be memories that try to haunt you. There will be habits that try to repeat. Because just as heaven wants you free, something else wants you trapped. Something else wants you tired. Something else wants you hopeless. Something else wants you small. There are forces that fear your awakening, because when you awaken, you cannot be manipulated. When you awaken, you cannot be controlled. When you awaken, you cannot be stopped. When you awaken, you become a light that exposes shadows in others. And some people, some energies, some spirits do not want to be seen. You may feel pressure right now, anxiety, confusion, or a strange intensity, and you might think you are falling apart again, but you are not. You are shedding old layers. You are releasing old stories. You are stepping out of who you used to be. You are being pushed into alignment, and alignment often feels uncomfortable, because comfort belongs to old identity, not to the new one you are becoming. Your life is changing rapidly because Spirit is pushing you into position. Do not resist it. Do not doubt it. Do not fear it. The door that closed behind you was necessary. The path that ended was necessary. The people who left were necessary. The endings you did not choose were necessary. Because what is meant for you is bigger than what you lost. And what is coming next requires a healed, awakened, conscious version of you. Your miracle has arrived, but you must receive it with belief, not fear, with awareness, not doubt, with strength, not weakness. You do not need to earn it. You do not need to beg for it. You do not need to chase it. You simply need to accept that what is meant for you cannot be stolen when you are aligned with it. You are stepping into a new chapter, not because life is suddenly easy, but because you are no longer the person who needs to suffer to grow. You are being lifted, supported, guided, and prepared. The war around you has turned. The energy has shifted. The battle is no longer survival. The battle now is belief. Your miracle is not waiting in the future. It is standing beside you now, asking you to open your eyes, open your heart, and step forward without fear. What you lost was not greater than what is coming. What you endured was not pointless. What you survived was not in vain. You are stepping into a destiny that darkness tried to stop, but could not. You are walking into a life that fear tried to delay, but failed. Heaven fought for you because you matter. I fought for you because you are chosen. And now, it is time for you to fight for yourself too, not with force, but with faith, with awareness, with courage, with self-worth. Your miracle has arrived, and it is yours. Type Amen, my soul worships you, if your heart is lifted in praise. You need to hear this now, and I will speak to you with clarity and love, because part of your healing is not only receiving a miracle but knowing why it was meant for you in the first place. You have lived most of your life not knowing who you really are, not knowing why you feel different, not knowing why things affect you so deeply, not knowing why you see through people so easily, and not knowing why you carry so much weight in your heart even when you try to hide it. You have been searching for identity in a world that never recognized your soul, and because of that, you grew up with questions that nobody could answer, so you assumed something was wrong with you. But nothing was wrong with you. You were simply not meant to fit in with people who could only survive by being small and disconnected from their own spirit. From the moment you came into this world, you carried a different energy, a different sensitivity, a deeper awareness, even if you did not have the words to explain it. You felt emotions strongly, you sensed people's intentions, you noticed shifts in energy, you knew when something was off, and you could feel pain even when it wasn't spoken. You were born with spiritual sensitivity, but people around you often labeled it as being too emotional, or too sensitive, or too dramatic, or too complicated. They did not understand that what you carried was not weakness. It was a gift. And because they did not understand, they tried to change you, suppress you, correct you, silence you, and make you fit their version of normal. But you were not made for normal. You were made for purpose. You have a calling in your soul that is older than your body. You are not here to simply exist, work, pay bills, and wait for life to end. You are here to impact, to transform, to shift energy, to heal, to create, to lead, to awaken. You are not here to repeat stories of pain passed down from generations. You are here to end them. You are not here to live small so that others feel comfortable. You are here to rise so others can rise too. And this is why you always felt different. It wasn't loneliness without reason. It was separation for preparation. You were kept apart because your soul was being shaped in ways that would not make sense to others until later. There is something you must know: you have survived things that would have destroyed most people because you were not built to break. You were built to transform. Even when you hit a point where you thought you couldn't keep going, something inside you pushed you to get up again. That something was your purpose, your mission, your inner calling refusing to die. There is a flame inside you that refuses to go out, no matter how much darkness surrounds it. You may have felt weak during moments of pain, but the truth is, you were being rebuilt, refined, and awakened to who you actually are. There were moments when you questioned your worth, your identity, your future, and even your existence. You thought, "What is my purpose? Why am I here? Why do I feel so lost?" Those questions were not signs of failure. They were signs of awakening. A soul without purpose does not ask those questions. A soul with purpose feels restless, hungry, uncomfortable, and incomplete until it begins to step into who it was meant to be. You have always known deep down that you are meant for more, even if you could not explain what more was. That feeling was not arrogance or fantasy. It was memory. Your spirit recognizes a path that your mind has not walked yet. You have been led by intuition more than logic, even when you did not realize it. How many times did you walk away from something because something inside you said, "This is not right for me," even when everyone else told you to stay? How many times did you sense something before it happened? How many times did you feel the emotional state of a room before anyone spoke? You think that is normal, but it is not normal for everyone. It is a sign of spiritual intelligence, and it comes with responsibility. You are not just emotional. You are intuitive. You are not just kind. You are empathetic. You are not just deep. You are wise. You are not just tired. You are spiritually overloaded because you have been carrying the weight of other people's energy without realizing it. You often helped people who never helped you, because you felt their pain as if it was yours. You forgave people who never apologized because you understood their wounds more clearly than they did. You carried burdens that were not yours because you thought loving someone meant saving them. You poured into empty cups because you believed that love could fix everything. But love cannot fix someone who refuses to heal. You were never meant to be everyone's savior. You were meant to heal, not bleed for people who cut you. There is something powerful and rare about your spirit. You hold light that does not fade even when exhaustion tries to drown it. You carry a softness that remains even when life hardens you. You understand people on a level that scares them because you see behind masks, behind smiles, behind walls, behind excuses. You see truth. And people who hide from truth often run from you, not because you did anything wrong, but because being seen by you means being exposed. You are a mirror. And mirrors make people uncomfortable. You may not see yourself as a leader, but you are. Not because you boss people around, but because people look at you, listen to you, and follow you without you trying. You lead with presence, not pressure. You influence without force. You inspire by existence, not by speeches. You make people feel understood simply by being yourself. That is leadership. That is purpose. That is divine design. There is also something else you must understand. You are meant to help others, but not through suffering. Your gift is not martyrdom. Your purpose is not to be used. You are stepping into a time where your energy will no longer be drained by those who only take. You are entering a season where your gifts will not be exploited, but valued. Where your love will not be abused, but honored. Where your voice will not be silenced, but heard. Where your sensitivity will not be mocked, but respected. You are becoming the version of yourself you always sensed but never met. And I must say this, your value has never been based on what you produce, how much you do for others, or how strong you pretend to be. Your value is in who you are. You are valuable because you exist, because you carry light, because you carry wisdom, because you carry tenderness, because you carry truth. You do not need to earn your worth. You do not need to prove your importance. You do not need to convince anyone to see you. People who are incapable of seeing beyond surface level will never understand you, and that is not your failure. That is their limitation. And now, listen closely, because this is where truth becomes responsibility. Your miracle is not just something you receive. It is something you must grow into. You are stepping into a life that aligns with who you actually are, not the version of you that survived trauma. You are stepping into power, but power requires awareness. You are stepping into abundance, but abundance requires boundaries. You are stepping into love, but love requires self-respect. You are stepping into purpose, but purpose requires commitment. Your destiny is not small. It is not normal. It is not average. And that is why your journey has not been small, normal, or average either. You have walked through fire, seen darkness, felt heartbreak, and survived storms because your spirit is being trained to carry something heavy. You were not pushed down to keep you defeated. You were pushed down to build the strength to rise beyond anything that ever tried to hold you. You need to know something very important. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are not a lost soul wandering without direction. You are intentional. You are chosen. You are sent. Even if you do not know the full mission yet, the mission knows you. And now that you are stepping into alignment, you will begin to feel who you truly are. Your intuition will get sharper. Your energy will get stronger. Your purpose will get clearer. Your gifts will activate. Your confidence will rise. And the people who once intimidated you or controlled you will no longer hold power over you, because you are waking up. Your miracle did not arrive to fix you. Your miracle arrived because you have become ready to live as your true self, not as the broken version of you that survival created. Your miracle is not just a blessing. It is a confirmation. A sign that the universe is shifting to match your soul. It is heaven saying, you are stepping into identity, purpose, and destiny now. There is something important I need you to understand now, because you have reached the part of this journey where what was promised to you is no longer an idea, no longer a dream, no longer a distant hope that you try to convince yourself to believe in. What belongs to you has already formed in the unseen, and it is moving toward the physical world of your life. This miracle is not imaginary or symbolic. It is real, it is practical, and it is meant to impact every part of your existence. You have waited a long time, but you were not waiting for the world to change. The world was waiting for you to arrive at the right moment in your own growth. And now that moment has come, and the miracle that has been building around you is ready to enter your life in a clear and visible way. There are areas of your life that have been dry, empty, painful, or confusing for so long that you almost stopped expecting anything good to happen. There are dreams you buried because you thought they were unrealistic. There are desires you hid because you were afraid of disappointment. There are needs you silenced because you believed you would never receive them. You taught yourself to survive without what you actually wanted, because settling felt safer than hoping. But I tell you now, the miracle that is arriving is meant to fill the very areas you thought would never heal, never grow, and never shift. You are not stepping into a small blessing. You are stepping into a personal transformation that will touch the things you cried over, prayed over, lost sleep over, and blamed yourself for. Your miracle has many layers, because your life has many needs. It is not just one answer. It is not just one moment. It is a series of openings, alignments, opportunities, changes, and blessings that begin to unfold one after the other like a chain reaction. The energy around your life is moving in a way that will surprise you, because what felt blocked for years will suddenly feel open. What felt heavy will begin to feel light. What felt impossible will start to make sense. And what felt delayed will begin to show up faster than you expected. One part of your miracle is emotional. You have held so much pain inside your heart that joy felt like a stranger. You built walls to protect yourself from hurt, but those walls also stopped you from receiving love, connection, support, and softness. You learned to be strong because nobody gave you room to be fragile. You carried trauma because nobody held space for your grief. You learned to act fine because nobody could handle your truth. And you convinced yourself that feeling numb was normal, because feeling everything was unbearable. But emotional healing is now arriving, not through force, but through gentle release. You will start to feel lighter, calmer, softer, not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because the heaviness that sat in your spirit is dissolving. You will cry in ways that feel cleansing, not painful. You will breathe differently. You will love differently. You will feel safe in ways you have never known. Emotional healing is not a prize you earn. It is a gift being given to you now, because you deserve to feel whole. Another part of your miracle is financial. You have lived with fear around money, stress around survival, anxiety about your future, and shame about not being further ahead by now. You blamed yourself for not being stable, not achieving enough, not having support. You compared your life to others and wondered why you were always struggling while others seemed to move easily. But you did not struggle because you were lazy. You struggled because you were carrying wounds, responsibilities, burdens, and limitations that most people cannot see. You survived on strength, not stability. And because of that, your financial breakthrough will not be small or temporary. It will be a shift that changes the way you live, not just the way you pay bills. You will experience opportunities, resources, connections, and ideas that bring money with ease, not desperation. You will receive support, not pressure. You will build something sustainable, not fragile. You will learn to receive without guilt and succeed without fear. Financial blessing is part of your miracle because your soul deserves rest, safety, and freedom. There is also a miracle coming to your relationships. You have given so much love to people who did not know how to use your heart, to lower your expectations, to shrink your love so that nobody could hurt you with it again. But I tell you now, you are entering a time where you will receive love that does not damage you. You will meet people who see you, hear you, understand you, and value you in ways you always wished someone would. You will experience connection that does not require you to suffer, sacrifice, or pretend. You will feel safe, supported, honored, and chosen. This will not happen because you beg for it. It will happen because your energy is changing, and you will attract what is aligned with your healing, not your wounds. There is also a miracle coming to your purpose. You have felt lost, disconnected, unmotivated, or unsure of your direction because your soul refused to settle for a life without meaning. You tried to fit into jobs, roles, or identities that did not reflect who you truly are. You tried to convince yourself to be satisfied with less, because you believed you did not deserve more. You tried to silence your calling because you were afraid of failure, judgment, or visibility. But purpose does not go away simply because you ignore it. It waits. And now, as you enter a new chapter, your purpose will begin to pull you forward in ways you cannot explain. You will feel drawn to certain paths, creative ideas, spiritual practices, careers, or missions that feel right even if they do not make sense logically. You will feel guided, supported, inspired, and energized. You will begin to manifest goals that used to feel too big. Your gifts will activate. Your confidence will grow. Your direction will become clear. But understand this, the miracle is not just what arrives. It is who you become as it arrives. Because your blessing is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to match you. You are not receiving scraps. You are receiving abundance. And abundance requires a healed heart, a steady mind, and an awakened spirit. The miracle is not here to save you. It is here to meet the version of you who finally sees your own worth. This is why the journey felt long. This is why the delay was painful. This is why you felt empty before you were filled. You needed to release what was breaking you before you could receive what would bless you. You will not need to work harder to receive this miracle. You will not need to chase it, force it, or compete for it. What is meant for you is already aligned with your name. What is yours will move toward you because the timing is right, not because you prove you are worthy. You are worthy because you exist. You are enough because you survived. You are powerful because you awakened. And now, the universe is responding to your inner shift with outer change. But I must tell you something important. When a miracle arrives, it does not always look magical at first. It may show up as an opportunity, a decision, a message, a person, a chance, a risk, or a moment that feels unfamiliar. You will be tempted to overthink it, doubt it, reject it, or delay it because fear does not disappear overnight. You will feel scared of losing what you have prayed for, because you once lost what mattered to you. You will want to protect yourself from disappointment. But hear me, do not sabotage what you prayed to receive. Do not push away what your soul has waited for. Do not let fear speak louder than faith. Your miracle has arrived, but you must meet it with openness, not resistance, with trust, not panic, with courage, not avoidance. You do not need to have everything figured out. You just need to say yes to what feels aligned, peaceful, meaningful, and true. You will know the difference between fear and intuition because fear attacks, but intuition guides. Fear shouts, but intuition whispers. Fear feels heavy, but intuition feels steady. Learn to follow what feels right, not what feels safe. Write, "Thank you, God, for holding my hand," if you felt His closeness. And share this video.